Today in the show, we have the House of Mouse headlines brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. This episode is being released on July 12th, 2023, and here's what's been going on in the world of Disney recently. More Muppets representation in the parks, the continued removal of streaming content, a very teasy tease about the future of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, and more.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
The Sword in the Stone photo op is a treasured element of Fantasylands across the globe, but that's no longer the case at Hong Kong Disneyland. Recently, the park removed theirs in preparation for a tribute to Walt Disney. A new statue titled Dream Makers, featuring Walt and Mickey, will soon appear in front of the Cinderella Carousel behind the Castle of Magical Dreams. Currently, construction walls are up in the area, with the new statue expected to debut this October. Disneyland Paris will once again be celebrating France's national holiday, known in English-speaking countries as Bastille Day. This year's fireworks display will once again use drone technology and promises even more spectacular drone choreography never before seen at the park. The display will celebrate France, including several Disney stories that have been set there, including Ratatouille, Beauty and the Beast, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The Bastille Day fireworks will follow a presentation of Disney Dreams on July 14th. Later this year, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser will host its final voyage. This news led to plenty of speculation and questions about what would happen with the offering after the late September closure. Well, while we don't actually have any solid info yet, Disney Parks Experiences and Products Chairman Josh D'Amaro has teased something. Yes, he literally just said, quote, something. When asked by the finance and travel site The Points Guy what will become of the hotel after the final guests depart, D'Amaro responded, quote, no hints yet, but something will happen, end quote. So, does this mean the space will host special events, become a regular hotel, serve as a themed restaurant, or none of the above? We'll truly just have to wait and find out. A true Disneyland favorite has made a triumphant return to the park after a multi-year absence. I am, of course, talking about none other than the Indiana Jones pinball machine in Adventureland. Of course, this miraculous reemergence happens to coincide with the release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. On that note, you can currently find Indy himself wandering Adventureland, and can find this piece of fun nostalgia in the Bengal Barbecue expanded seating area. The Hollywood Hills will soon come alive with the sound of music, alongside visuals of the Walt Disney Animation Studios. To celebrate Disney's 100 years of legacy, a special concert will be held at the iconic Hollywood Bowl on August 4th and 5th. Ahead of that, some details about the concert have been announced. Joining the Los Angeles Philharmonic and conductor Thomas Wilkins will be Adam J. Levy, Isabel McCalla, Cindy Winters, and Annalise Vanderpool, while Odessa and Susan Egan host the event. James Monroe Iglehart has also been announced as a special guest. Tickets for Walt Disney Animation Studios' The Concert are now available on HollywoodBowl.com and start at $15. It looks as though the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse will be expanding once again when Deadpool 3 hits theaters. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Jennifer Garner will appear in the upcoming film as Elektra. Garner will be reprising the role she played in 2003's Daredevil, which she starred in alongside Ben Affleck, as well as the film Elektra from 2005. As previously announced, Deadpool 3 will not only feature the titular anti-hero played by Ryan Reynolds, but will also see Hugh Jackman return as Wolverine. Deadpool 3 is now set to premiere in theaters on May 3rd, 2024. Niantic, the mobile game developer behind the popular Pokémon Go, has announced that they plan to lay off 230 employees and cancel development on Marvel World of Heroes. The game, which was announced at the D23 Expo last year, would have been an AR adventure inspired by the Marvel Universe. In addition to halting development on World of Heroes, the studio will be canceling NBA All World, although Pokémon Go support will continue. From now through October, 8 classic, albeit not terribly old, Disney films will be returning to theaters. Each of these films will have special 2-week engagements in celebration of Disney 100. First up, Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl will sail back to the big screen for its 20th anniversary, playing now through July 20th. This will be followed by re-releases of Toy Story, Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, The Incredibles, Coco, The Lion King, and Moana. To find theaters near you showcasing these Disney favorites, head to Fandango.com to get your tickets. Soon, you'll be able to see the live-action The Little Mermaid from the comfort of your own home. The film will be arriving on digital July 25th, as well as 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD, aka physical media, on September 19th. Fans can add the film to their collection and access exclusive bonus features including a sing-along version of the film, song breakdowns, bloopers, and exclusive featurettes. And before you ask, at this time, a Disney Plus debut date for Disney's The Little Mermaid has not been announced. Well, I might have to rename this show Lego Coast to Coast because another new Disney 100 inspired set will soon be released. This time, it's the Lego Walt Disney Tribute Camera. The detailed collectible set features a vintage-style movie camera with a hinged back panel with a surprise and a film strip showing stills from 20 historic Disney movies, a director's clapperboard with space for 3 Lego minifigures, 2 Lego animal figures, and a multiplane camera with 3 printed screens showing how Disney's The Old Mill short was made. This set measures over 14.5 inches high, 8.5 inches wide, and 7 inches deep. Plus, it will include a premium booklet filled with details about Disney, the camera, the set itself, and of course, instructions to guide you through the building process. With 811 pieces, the set will retail for $99.99 and will be available on September 1st. They should have just made it $100 for Disney 100. Come on. And now it's time to bring in Kyle Burbank from laughingplace.com. Hello, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Jeff. How about you?
You're looking spiffy with some pink hair.
Well, I gotta do something. I'm not taking a $100,000 trip around the world, so I have to prove my own self-worth to myself.
What inspired the pink this year? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think last year was like a greenish blue, correct?
Yeah. I don't even remember. I think we were looking, my wife said I look like someone, and I said, well, I'm not a redhead. And she's like, oh, we could dye your hair red. And then that turned to, well, we could actually go get some Manic Panic. And then when I was researching colors, I found out that there was one called Electric Watermelon. I'm like, that's probably going to be more of a pink, but that sounds fantastic. And I learned after the fact that this is apparently like glows under black lights. So now I need to go to Disney so I can experience that.
I entirely agree with you there. I simply shaved my head this morning, so no. What's the color you said?
Electric watermelon.
Maybe I'll put some electric watermelon makeup on my head or something. And
you can see some of the bleach mixed in, so I kind of look like Heat Miser.
Everybody listening to this, I'm sure, is very much enjoying.
Well, just picture Heat Miser, and then you're close.
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. I'm Mr. something something.
101.
I'm Mr. 101. Friends call me Heat Miser. Whatever I touch. If people have no idea what I'm singing, they're going to be very confused. Those who get it, you rock. Anyway, let's jump into the Disney news because guests staying at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel will begin receiving communications about an offer for a future stay at a Walt Disney World Resort. The new resort future stay offer will allow those guests to save 25 to 35% on a future resort stay on select dates through 2024. This offer is only bookable over the phone and must be booked within 7 days from the date of checkout on the current reservation. This offer ranges from 35% on rooms at select Disney Deluxe or Deluxe Villa resorts, 30% on rooms at select Disney Moderate resorts, or 25% on rooms at select Disney Value resorts. I just find this really interesting because, I mean, obviously this means they have some long-term attendance concerns, but the thing that I find so funny is I feel like Disney is kind of like playing this game of, we're okay with attendance being down because profits are up. But I'm like, then why do you keep dropping the price? Like, there's a problem here, right? Like, through 2024, That's a long time.
This is a program they used to do, so they're kind of just bringing it back. So yeah, I think the pent-up demand that they had has been spent, and those people that came during, and it's also you have the 50th anniversary, so some people might have moved up their trips because of that. So yeah, now you're having it to where it's just back to normal, and normal can be better.
I don't remember this. This was a regular thing? I don't remember an offer like this. But to be fair, I never really...
I mean, I don't know if it was the exact same terms and stuff, but yeah, they entice you to come back. Live the magic one more time, Jeffrey.
All right. Hey, it's a thing. It's happening. So if you're staying at Walt Disney World, like, you might want to think about your next trip because you only have like 7 days to book this.
7 days.
All right. He just made it a little creepy.
Well, I was doing the ring.
Oh, what does he say in the ring?
I don't know. Isn't it 7 days? Like after you watch the tape that you done?
Oh, I haven't seen.
You're the horror expert. I've never even seen it.
I know.
Dude.
I haven't seen that since it came out, so I couldn't even tell you. And when you said the ring, my head went to Lord of the Rings, and I thought you were doing like a Gollum thing.
Okay,
so
sorry, I'll say Ringu because I know you like the original Japanese one.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Okay. Anywho, yeah, so that's happening. But now, let's talk about something very exciting, folks. Don your lab coats and prepare to experiment with delicious flavors as Brew Wing, very clever, Brew Wing Lab at the Odyssey invites guests on a flavorful adventure featuring the culinary creations and madcap mishaps of Muppet Labs during the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. That's right, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and his faithful assistant Beaker of Muppet Labs will welcome you to their taste testing headquarters, where the inventive duo are busy creating scientific snacks and mind-blowing beverages. You'll have a chance to sample some of their kooky concoctions, like the unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty Scotch bonnet pepper curry wings, yum, or the pickle milkshake. Blah. No thank you. That makes me want to vomit. A pickle milkshake? My sister would be all over that. Me? Not so much. But, Kyle, more Muppets at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, they're part of Imagineering. It makes sense.
It makes sense, but I do want to, like, make an official list of, like, Muppet representation of the parks, because it does feel like we have this notion of there's not enough representation. But now what do we got? We've got this, so this will be there. We've got, Kermit, Miss Piggy coming up for Christmas. I still don't think the Great Moments in American History, has that ever been officially retired? I know it's like not been around, but I don't know if it's ever been officially retired.
I forget what language they use for that, but yeah, it hasn't been around in a while.
And then we got the barbecue and Epcot. So, like, listen, they're there. They're just not there as much as we want. And frankly, Walt Disney World, you've got a good amount of them. We need them at Disneyland. We need more Muppets at Disneyland. That needs to be a thing.
I don't know why Electric Mayhem's not playing Eat to the Beat.
Oh, gosh. Maybe they will. That would be awesome. They totally should.
It would be funny if they still had flower power, because they could have done that. But that's Garden Rocks. It evolved. It used to be more like, 60s and 70s, and then they made it basically just another Eat to the Beat, a little bit wider in scope.
I love this, though. This is really fun, and I'm curious to see how I'm going to assume this is going to be like a live interaction with like actual puppet performers, or do you think this is going to be like a Muppet? You think it's going to be like Muppet Mobile Lab or on monitors or what? Well,
so because it's in the Odyssey building, I think it's going to be similar to what we saw with the Figment or the Orange Board offerings, just kind of some like theming and maybe some, I would guess some video maybe, or like little video elements. I don't know. They're so vague when they had this thing up. They had a video of the actual characters introducing it. But yeah, I wouldn't think that they're going to have them there. But I'm happy to be surprised and stand corrected if they do.
Yeah, I hope that they bring them in. I think that would be really cool. But we'll see what happens. But regardless, more Muppets. Muppet Vision 3D is never going away.
How upset do you think the Swedish chef must be? Like, he didn't get an invite to the Food and Wine Festival, and the stupid scientist guy is getting invited instead?
Okay, his name is Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, not the stupid scientist guy.
Well, I'm just putting words in the Swedish chef's mouth now.
That would be just yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. Listen, if it actually is a very fair point.
Because that'd be an amazing like demo. If they did that, like you have all these like real like cooking presentations, and then they have the Swedish chef do one. Like, that'd be a great bit.
Yeah, I think they should do that. Somebody listening who makes the decisions.
At least make the
Get on
video.
top of
That's a TikTok waiting to happen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. So maybe we'll see it happen. I don't know. Interesting. In addition to the Muppets, also coming later this fall, the culinary team will add 4 new global marketplaces to commemorate the Disney 100 celebration: Char and Chop, Wine and Wedge, Bubbles and Brine, and get ready for it, Swirled Showcase. That is genius. I don't know who thought of that, but they deserve a raise. Swirled Showcase. The only thing I can think of is like that swirled soft serve ice cream. I have no idea what else will be served here, but Swirled Showcase, I kind of want a t-shirt that says that. Not going to lie. All right, let's move on to some, beyond food and wine. Let's talk about the holidays, because Disney Jollywood Nights casting search reveals entertainment details. Of course, we've already learned about Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, who are going to be special guests in a star-studded production, which will feature, apparently, Tiana, Belle, Minnie Mouse, and Mickey Mouse. Disney is casting a Tiana lookalike with the, quote, ability to riff in a style similar to Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. We already got like Clarabelle doing this in Magic Kingdom, right? And now
this
you're
is
telling
a style
me
similar.
Yeah, sure. So you're telling me Tiana's gonna sing All I Want for Christmas Is You? Come on. That's kind of epic.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I hope they do this musical style for it. Like change it to something a little bit jazzier.
Yeah, for sure. It's I don't know. So many people have covered that song at this point. I say add Tiana to the list. If Clarabelle gets to do it, so does Tiana in my book. Meanwhile, they're also seeking a Belle face character to sing As Long as There's Christmas from Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas in the same key as the movie score. I have seen this movie, can't say I remember it that well, and definitely don't remember this song, but I kind of love like the old throwback. It's kind of cool that they're digging, like that's niche. Talk about niche, that's niche.
Yeah, and I like that they specify in the original key. Don't be coming in here trying to raise it or lower it. We need to stick with the standard. People are going to notice. People are going to be like, that's not right. I know this classic of the Disney songbook, and
listen, Belle is Belle.
Your transposition angers me.
Belle is Belle. You're not going to change the key on Belle because then it wouldn't be Belle. It's got to be Belle's key. So that's what they're going with that. And then other singing roles include a male identifying vocalist for a rockabilly style number, akin to Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats, and a female identifying vocalist with a singing style comparable to Ella Fitzgerald. So all I'm going to say is it sounds like a really cool holiday show that I was already excited for to begin with, and it just sounds like it keeps getting better.
Yeah, it totally sounds like it's going to fit the vibe of the Jollywood Nights, that sort of like old Hollywood aesthetic. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And it just gives me those like TV Christmas special, concert vibe sort of things where there's a central star and they're just inviting all their celebrity friends on to take part. Like, that's what it seems like. And I think it'll be a home run, so I really am excited to, I'm not going to be able to see it in person, but I'll be looking at it through the YouTubes and checking out those videos for sure. But yeah, already talking about Christmas. Halloween ain't even here. But in any case, Kyle, do you know what's happening this month?
Is it Midsummer Scream?
Well, that is true, but it's also a live stream Ask Me Anything month for all patrons of Disney Coast to Coast. That's right. This month's live stream is scheduled for Tuesday, July 25th, and anybody listening can take part simply by becoming a patron of Disney Coast to Coast. That's in addition to other bonuses available over on the DCTC Patreon page. Check out everything being offered by clicking on the Patreon link in this episode's description. Since you brought it up, I might as well plug Midsummer Scream, the end of this month, the last weekend of July 2023. I am doing do you remember the Haunted Mansion Ghost Post?
Vaguely, yeah. It was a thing that they showed. I think it was probably still DisneyStore.com, not even Shop Disney back then. It was like a subscription and it interacted in the park or something?
Yeah, it was a subscription box that you subscribed for. They only sold 999 of them. They sold out like immediately. There were all these interactive elements you could play with in the park, do at home. It was this really cool thing. And I'm talking with some of the folks who worked on it from Walt Disney Imagineering and doing a live panel at Midsummer Scream. That'll be on the Sunday. I've also got another panel that Sunday, also Disney related, not announced yet. So my lips are sealed about that. And then Saturday night producing the big party that they do. So that's not Disney related, but still going to be fun. So if you happen to be in the SoCal area the end of July, you should swing by midsummerscream.org. It's going to be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to it. And listen, Halloween is cool, so like, why would you not? Oh, I just gave a hint and didn't even mean to. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Alrighty, moving on. Less than 2 months after its debut, the Disney Plus original movie Crater has been removed from the streaming service with no warning. Listen, I've never heard of Crater, but this just sucks. And here's what's concerning me. So the film opened to mixed reviews, garnering a 64% average on Rotten Tomatoes. So are we just living in a time of, if things don't review well, they're just going to get omitted and deleted from everywhere and not be available? Because if that were the case, Hocus Pocus would not exist right now.
Right.
This is
that's what I've been
terrible.
saying. Like even Elemental, didn't open. We're like, oh my gosh, what a flop. And now it's, catching up. It's not a huge hit, but it's getting up there. And if it had been a streaming thing, I don't think that they would delete a Pixar movie. But, if things were a little bit different, then yeah, maybe that, you had 6 weeks, you're not catching fire. I'm going to take you away for the write-off. It's like, why did you bother?
This is just so entirely different than like, a movie's not doing well at a theater, let's pull it after a few weeks. Because we know it's going to live on in some way, shape, or form, whether it's on television or through, home media, whatever. This is like, nope, gone forever, potentially. Just because it got some bad reviews. It might be brilliant. I don't know. To me, what I would say is you marketed it poorly, because I do a Disney podcast and I've never freaking heard of Crater.
Well, I was going to say that implies that they marketed it.
I mean, what the hell? This is a really dangerous slope. And the thing that makes me even more scared is that other streaming services are catching on and doing the same thing. Paramount Plus just deleted Rise of the Pink Ladies, which was like a Grease spinoff, which I did not see. And now that potentially doesn't exist anymore.
And Grease 2 still does. That's an injustice. Let's do it for our country.
Oh, that was phenomenal. Oh, Kyle Burbank, I love you so much. That was brilliant.
I guess we need to preserve Cool Rider.
Yeah. This is just insane, though. And it just does not seem like they're slowing down with this at all. And listen, like, this is the stuff that people are catching, right? How much stuff is being deleted that we just don't even notice?
Yeah. I wonder about that. I'm like, I want to start like keeping a document when they send us the what's coming, and then just check a couple weeks. I did also check. I had a little heart attack because I wanted to check to see if Howard was still there, if they pulled a fast one on us. And I forget how many letters I needed to enter, but it wasn't coming up at first until I got to like the third or fourth. And I was like, oh, okay.
All right, still there. Whew. They can't. They're too smart to screw with that one again. Like,
it was July 1st, so I'm like,
geez, crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry to anybody who had anything to do with Crater. This is unjust and basically complete BS. But yeah, I don't know. Nasty trend. Not a fan of it, but it happened. Moving on, during an interview for Haunted Mansion, Jamie Lee Curtis was asked, if you could do another movie based on a Disney ride, what would it be? And after taking maybe a second to think about it, Curtis responded, quote, love her. So, My quote starts now. So, my favorite ride/attraction was something called the Carousel of Progress, which is only now at Disney World. She should have said Walt Disney World, but she said Disney World. But it was the GE Carousel of Progress, and I loved it. So, I would want to make a movie of the Carousel of Progress, which is basically time travel. It's sort of about technology and how it's changed over the years, so that's what I would do. End quote. I always knew I loved that Scream Queen. My gosh, what a solid answer.
Very solid answer. And also subscribes to the one family theory. So that's a woman after my own heart. So if you listen to I don't know if it's still around, the TTC thing, the People Mover at Walt Disney World says that the show is about 4 families. No. It's about one family, just at different times. There's not 4 families. So by saying that it's about time travel, I'm choosing to believe that she knows it's one family.
Yeah, it's one family who throws away a child at one point, who we never hear from again.
That's fine.
They died of, like, I don't know, some Oregon Trail.
It was in the olden times. If
exactly.
They had, now that we have progress, we could have saved that child.
It's true. It's true. Honestly, I think the idea of a time travel movie with that family is kind of fantastic. And I genuinely think if they were to do like a Carousel of Progress sitcom for Disney Plus, I think that would be brilliant. Like, I genuinely believe you could do it, just shoot the animatronics and like edit it in ways and change the voiceover, and like you could get episodes of sitcoms out of it. Obviously not a long-running sitcom, but I think it would be kind of brilliant. But yeah, I like this idea, Jamie Lee Curtis, who is listening right now. So
Lori, listen, we need to make this happen.
Yeah.
I'm just referencing all the horror movies I haven't seen today.
It's true. It's true. You've never even seen the classic Halloween?
No.
That one's not gory. It would make you jump, though. Just put the volume on real low and watch it during
I'm trying
daylight.
to think of scary movies that I've actually seen. If you count Scream 3. I've seen Scream 3, random. I've seen Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
Identity, does that count, or is that more of a thriller?
I'm not familiar with Identity. Which one's that?
That's the one with John Cusack in the motel.
Oh, yeah, that was an enjoyable film. God, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know what I would call that.
Those are probably the only 3.
All right. Well, we got to get you into more of them, I would say. But hey, it's not your thing. It's fine. It's fine, Kyle. I like you for many other reasons. So you can be a non-horror fan. But I will say, every time I ride the Haunted Mansion and get to the cemetery with like the pop-up ghosts, I think of you.
Thank you.
Literally every single time. Too funny. Anywho, that's kind of the news, but I do want to touch upon real quickly. Did you hear about these Oogie Boogie Bash ticket issues?
Yeah, if I may, I can run you through the timeline. They were supposed to go on sale on June 29th?
June 29th. And I know that because, so I think you know them as well. Yeah, you know the Harvilles. My dear friend Jonathan Harville and his beautiful wife Brooke are coming out to visit, which I'm so excited for. And we decided we want to go to Oogie Boogie Bash together. And so I told him, I was like, listen, like we picked a date and I said, tickets go on sale on the 29th of June. I'm going to be at the Rogers press event all day. So like, I will not have an opportunity to get these. If you want to get them, like get them, I'll Venmo you. And so I was driving down to Disneyland, and but even before I got there, I get a text, tickets acquired. And I was like, sweet. And didn't really think anything of it. And then later found out how lucky we were. Continue.
Yeah, no, similar to your situation, I did have one person on our team. They were trying to get them, and we're running into the same thing where it's like, oh, we've paused sales. We're trying to fix the issue. And his girlfriend managed to go on the app, which when I checked, redirected you to the site anyway, but she was able to buy them with no wait time, no issue. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, the official word is that they paused sales, and then eventually they're like, hey, sales aren't resuming today. Check back for an update in a week. It may or may not include an on-sale date. So then a week later, they finally announce, hey, they're not going on sale today. We're selling them in a few days. And we're recording on the eve of that day. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what kind of an S show it's going to be. But they're supposed to go on sale tomorrow. And as far as I know, they haven't revoked anyone's tickets. So if you did manage to secure them like you, I haven't heard anything that they're those don't count.
No, I don't think they would do that because they sold a bunch 2 days prior for annual or magic
There
key
you go.
holders.
Yeah, that's true.
And I do have a friend who waited in the virtual queue for 7 or 8 hours on the magic key holder day. And then by the time his chance rolled around, they were sold out. So I think that was just, they only allot a certain percentage of tickets for the magic key holders. And I think that was genuinely just like a sellout situation. But there's no denying it's a real bummer to wait for 7 or 8 hours and have it sell out. But yeah, a lot of angry people all around. It's a very frustrating process. Tell me this. I don't think this is a good idea, but tell me if you think they could get away with this. You know how Disney often, D23 especially, loves to like sell tickets to events to sell you stuff? Like, for instance, Mickey's of Glendale. You can pay $40 to come to this event to shop. That's not an abnormal thing. What if they did that during Halfway to Halloween with like basically, I don't know if you should have to pay to do this or if it would be free, and just like they could even do it for free and say, come down to downtown Disney. We're celebrating Halfway to Halloween. We're going to have some, specialty, our Halloween merch will be out for sale. And we're also selling Oogie Boogie Bash tickets in person. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's a good idea, but I'm surprised it hasn't been considered, considering how hellish the online experience has been.
I thought you were going to say, like, have a chance of getting, like, a priority thing to buy tickets or buying a...
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Disney Tech, man, they just can't figure it out, and I don't know why. It's everything.
I mean, because to be fair, I mean, Taylor Swift, right, like broke the internet when her tickets went on sale. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what the numbers are comparably, right? Like, I have no idea how many people are trying to buy Oogie Boogie tickets versus Taylor Swift. Like, I have no idea, no concept. I'd be curious to know, like, how many people are really trying to buy these Oogie Boogie tickets. Because it's sold out in a week last time, so it's popular. There's no question about it.
Well, these tickets aren't transferable, though, right? Whereas Taylor Swift ones, the issue presumably is that there's bots buying them because they can resell them, whereas that shouldn't be as much of an issue.
Okay, but let's
Bots
get real.
Still might buy them, but I don't know how it works as far as like making sure that it's assigned to an account.
But yeah, here's the thing, like, what does non-transferable mean? Has your ID ever been checked when you walked in a gate at a Disney park? Mine never has.
No, but I guess I don't know how you do that part, but yeah, I mean, annual pass holders, obviously, or magic key holders, sorry, that's a little different story, but.
I will say, though, I did discover something about the Disney tickets recently, which was just because, well, I thought I was like working around something. I had a ticket in the app, and it's kind of annoying to have to like open the app and go to the ticket page every time you're going through. So I just opened it and screenshotted it. That way I just had it in my photos. So I go in, first time it works, no problem. I hop over to the other park and it scans and it like didn't work. And I was like, what? And so then I opened the app and do it that way. And then they scanned that and it did work. Apparently, like, the barcode changes throughout the day, which was like news to me. I was like, interesting. So it's like it's an additional security measure. I wasn't trying to cheat the system. I was just being lazy and like discovered this. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting that is, something that I don't quite understand how it helps, because like my photo's part of the original barcode. So if they're taking my photo, like, why would I don't really know how it helps, but it's interesting to know that that's how it works, at least at Disneyland. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, that is definitely interesting.
Yeah. So Oogie Boogie, listen, folks, as we said, this will release the day after they went back on sale, presumably. So I hope you got them if you want them. And we're still waiting for announcements about Oogie Boogie, but yeah.
Including that mind-blowing announcement.
Yeah, waiting to see. Also, I wanted to mention that I did see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Did you happen to check it out?
I finally saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so no, I haven't seen Indiana Jones.
I never even saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and at this point, I kind of don't care. I don't know why.
I paid $20 to download it digitally.
Oh, okay. So you own it.
I do, and I'm now excited to watch Mario on Peacock next month. That's the other one that I missed that I'm like, I want to see that.
Do you not go to the movies, or do you just infrequently?
We go to some Marvel movies, but especially because we have a dog now, and she doesn't like being left alone. We just give in, and we're like, fine, we're not going to do anything.
Well, I did see indie in theaters, which, is the way to see an indie film, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it, I gotta say. I'm a very casual Indiana Jones fan. I don't my favorite thing about them, I would say, is the music, but really enjoyable. Like, it was almost 2.5 hours. It didn't drag for me. I will say, way more CG heavy than I would like. His de-aging was a much bigger period of the film than I expected. Didn't love all that stuff. But as far as just like an enjoyable movie, like a popcorn flick, very much enjoyed it. And I will take this moment to promote last week's episode, because if you missed my interview with Kevin Broussard, one of the very first Indiana Joneses in the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular at Disney's Hollywood Studios, I highly recommend you check it out, because I had a great time chatting with Kevin, and he was just awesome. And yeah, indie's cool, so why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I've heard very mixed reviews. Some people are like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Other ones are like, it was mid, because that's what all the kids say. Everything's mid. And then some people are like actively against it. I think Mike Celestino, who's a big indie fan, just said it was a little overlong, but he liked it overall.
Yeah, I've been hearing that kind of from like diehard indie fans, right? Like these are the diehard indie fans seem to really like it. I do know some people that like really, really hated it, but I don't know. Like I said, super casual indie fan and just enjoyed it. Like, not a movie I'm dying to see again or anything, but in that moment, enjoyed it. And listen, spoiler alert for a second here. If you're, I assume if you really care, you've seen Indie by now, but if not, spoiler alert. It was funny because a lot of things I was seeing after were people being like, oh yeah, and they didn't kill Indiana Jones. And I don't know why, but that never even crossed my mind. I never thought to myself, oh, they might kill Indiana Jones like Han Solo. But I don't know. I wasn't concerned about that.
I wouldn't have been either.
Yeah.
I know that they killed off Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, they did. They did. Yeah. Interestingly, it's so funny? I just went and saw John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl do all of his classic music and such. And he did a bunch of indie stuff, and he did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and he did like Mutt's theme, which was the Shia LaBeouf character. And then he did stuff from the new one, Dial of Destiny, and then of course the Raiders March. But I was like, wow, how interesting that like you start your show with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Interesting choice, John Williams, but hey, you do you.
He had a refrigerator on the stage. It was wild.
That's actually how he entered the stage. He opened a refrigerator door. I
survived the blast.
Obviously, I'm kidding, but he did have a really cool like lightsaber battle with Gustavo Dudamel as they were doing the Imperial March, and Gustavo conducted the first half of the show. It was the final encore. He came back on stage with a lightsaber. John Williams took his out. It was a really fun moment between the two conductors.
Although, have I told you my hot take that like I think conductors overall are overrated. Like, I know John Williams like composes the stuff, but people that are like I'm like, yeah, it says on the sheet what you're supposed to do and the tempo and everything. Like, you're just a metronome.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot more that goes into it in the rehearsal process. I think the conductor is, working and massaging the music, and then the night of the performance, they're waving their arms. I don't know much about conducting, but I will say it is funny with moments like I was just describing with like them having a lightsaber battle while the orchestra's playing the Imperial March. There is a moment of like, okay, do they need the conductor right now? I mean, it doesn't seem like they need a conductor right now.
Put his arms down and you guys
you're still going.
Disobey.
Yeah, it's funny. But in any case, cool. That's what I got. Anything you want to add, Kyle?
I don't think so, except, follow along laughing_place on Twitter. We're also on Threads. Our guys are...
Threads! I'm on Threads.
The world.
Sorry.
I don't like Threads very much. I like Blue Sky better, but that's invite only, so I can't really plug it as easily.
I don't really know Blue Sky. I'm just so happy that there's like a Twitter equivalent now that isn't run by an app. Well, they're both insane people.
But I have a novel idea for Threads if they're willing to take it, and I'm sure that they've never heard this before, but it'd be really cool if when you select who you want to follow, if then you went to your feed and it was the people that you chose to follow. I don't know if they thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. But in any case, I'm very excited about Threads. At Jeff DePauli on Threads. I'm there. I'm loving it so far. I'm just happy to have something. I interrupted your Around the World plug, though, so please
that's
continue.
it. They're going around the world. They'll be doing posts and tweets. And today they got to see the volume. The volume, Jeff.
Wow. That is pretty cool. Is that on one of the sound stages at the Disney lot, or where is that?
Yes. I mean, it must have been because they were
Actually,
at
you know
the
what?
Disney lot.
I think Warner Brothers had a volume as well in one of their sound stages. That's really cool, though. But so what's the thread at laughing_place?
Yeah, same as our Instagram and same as our Twitter. Although on Blue Sky, if you have a Blue Sky, we're just laughing place, no underscore.
All right.
I also haven't posted very much there yet, but I will.
I am a little curious before we go, because you were so excited about it. Did you follow any of the Rookie of the Year D23 event stuff that happened?
So the same guys that are going around the world actually went, and I guess part of the game got rained out, so they didn't really get to like stick around for much. But yeah, still would have been. I mean, I guess with that insight, then I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't bother to go, but still would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been a real bummer if you like traveled and the game. But I mean,
I think they resumed it. I think there's just a several rain delay.
If I went, I would not have been going for the game. I would have been going for the screening. So, and as we mentioned before when we first started talking about this event, Thomas Ian Nicholas, the star of the film, the young boy in the film, he was there. And I forgot to mention last time that he plays Walt Disney in a movie. If you remember the movie Walt Before Mickey, which is quite terrible. But, I mean, he plays...
Is John Heder in that one?
John Heder is in it. He plays Roy Disney. That is, for folks who don't know the name, that's Napoleon Dynamite. He's quite bad. It's not a great movie. I mean, it was laughably bad, but I will say there are moments where, Thomas looks a good amount like a young Walt Disney. So I find that kind of funny. He played Walt Disney. Him and Tom Hanks, right? Like, that's about it. I think. Maybe some others.
At least in serious media.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Anywho, Kyle, I hope you have a great couple of weeks. I'll talk to you again then.
Looking forward to it, as always.
To read more about any and all of the stories you've heard here today, simply visit the show notes link in this episode's description. You've heard the news, and now I want to hear what you have to say about it. What do you think of even more Muppets coming to Walt Disney World? Share your thoughts on that or any other topics mentioned in today's episode. Call 818-860-2569, and you may just hear yourself on a future episode of Disney Coast to Coast. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Don't miss any future episodes by subscribing and following Disney with a Z, Coast to Coast on your favorite podcast app, where episodes are available 24/7. Until next time, anything you need can be found in this episode's description. From additional information and links discussed in this episode found in the show notes, contact info to reach me, access to the show's official website, some free gifts from me to you, and so much more. So be sure to check out this episode's description. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!